It's time to go back to class, and WTOL 11 wants to help you and your kids get ready. It's a new year, but the COVID threat hasn't ended. Just when it seems to get better, it gets worse. Former Marine and mental toughness expert Eric Rittmeyer joins us this morning with some ways to put your kids at ease when it comes to getting them back to class. Eric, thanks for joining us this morning.
Kaylee, good morning. I feel like I have to go buy a Jeep after watching the prior segments. I feel guilty for not owning one.
I know, same here. I don't own a Jeep, but we can support it, right?
Right.
So, Eric, we just mentioned it. We can't seem to eliminate this COVID-19 crisis, feeling like we start all over again from the beginning of the pandemic. So now that we're headed back to school, how do we keep our kids calm when they hear and see all of these new changes?
Yeah, it's crazy, Kaylee. I think where it all starts is helping our children to know that it's okay what they're feeling. 100% of their feelings are okay. They need to understand that. Every single feeling they have is okay. It's how they respond to those feelings that's important. So what we have to do is teach our kids that, hey, you're feeling a certain way. Let's try to label that feeling, understand why you're feeling that way, then find a constructive way to express how we're feeling and why we're feeling that way.
Now, the next thing, we've heard it over and over again, do your research, get the facts. How do we help make sure that our kids and us get accurate information to know that everything's okay without horrifying or scaring our kids as they get back to school?
Yeah, this is so important. Here's the thing, Kaylee, especially when it comes down to social media. I mean, you know how that goes, right? I mean, they got people on social media eating laundry detergent, right? I mean, this is crazy. So what we have to do is we have to let our kids know that just because we feel something internally doesn't make it real. So we might be feeling this for a certain reason. Let's try to find facts that can guide our feelings instead of letting feelings guide our facts. So if we sense something internally, let's go out, let's research it, let's talk. You can talk to me as your parent. You can talk to your friends. You can look on the internet. It's great. But these feelings we have, let's not automatically assume they're accurate. Let's find facts to either confirm or deny them.
Now, back to school time is always a stressful time for kids and for and parents, and then adding in this other factor of COVID-19 that we've been in for the last year and a half. I mean, how do we just make sure and go with the flow? Is it an everyday type of thing, just seeing how our kids are doing once we get back in the swing of things?
Yeah, and this is another important piece because our kids are incredibly amazing emotional detectives. They can see right through us. They know the way we breathe, if we're happy, if we're sad, if we're anxious. So what we have to do is we have to be honest with our kids. We can't come across as being totally despondent or in total disarray. We have to be honest with them, Kaylee, but we also need to talk on their level. So if we have a 5-year-old, we're going to answer questions differently than if we have a 15-year-old. Let them ask the questions, follow up. Don't try to explain quantum physics to our third grader if they're not asking that question. Be honest with them, be open with them, and help them to recognize that I'm here anytime you want to talk to me.
So outside of being, honest and being there for them, these children have really been through a lot of changes the past year and a half. How else do we provide emotional support to help them get through this time, a tough time when we could be fearful for, ourselves?
Yeah, and again, this goes back to, as adults, we've lived a long life. So we've had experiences that have taught us how to deal with adversity, with fear, things that scare us. We have tools to do this. So we look at a lot of the things that are going on. It upsets us internally, but we can recognize everything's going to be okay. Our kids don't have those same skills. So be honest with them, be upfront with them, but let them recognize that what we're going through right now is going to teach you skills for how to handle adversity down the road. So from a parent standpoint, as much as we want to shelter our kids from pain, physical, mental, emotional pain, it is good life skills they're learning right now.
Eric, thanks so much for joining us, helping us start the new school year with our kids at ease.
You're the best, Kay. Thank you for having me.